Today is yoga for anxiety. Start to come down to the mat, land on your back in whatever position is comfortable for you. If you want to have your feet down, knees up, rest the low back, or if you want to be in full corpse pose, just land on your back. Land on the mat. Start to create sacred space. Start to really land in your space. Try to let go of all of the things outside of the mat. There's a lot going on right now, so we're really going to focus today on being a little bit slower, a little bit mindful on the mat, and a little bit less in the physical practice and more with the other layers that we work with in yoga. So start to check in. How's your body doing? How are you feeling? Notice what is present. Start to really land on the mat. And as you're landing, we're going to talk through what we're going to do. So some of the causes or one of the symptoms of anxiety, of a lot of excess energy, can be struggling with self-worth. So it's not the only, it's just can be one of the coexisting issues, or it can be the cause. A lot of problems in the world can arise from this lack of feeling of self-worth. So I invite you today to work with self-worth. So we are going to work with the sentence, I am worthy. So as you start to contemplate that sentence, notice if you automatically start to add something onto that sentence. So maybe you say, I'm worthy of love. I'm worthy of health. I'm worthy of something. Start to see if you can start to make it simpler and just, I am worthy. I am worthy. See if you can say this to yourself internally without too much resistance, without the brain trying to fire in. See if you can do it naturally. Maybe this is not something that you struggle with. That's okay. This practice can be beneficial even if you don't struggle with self-worth. So start to repeat that sentence. I am worthy. Laying down on the mat, starting to repeat to yourself, I am worthy. Maybe you follow your breath. If that works for soothing you. Start to see if you can say it to yourself the way that you would speak to a dear friend. Speak with kindness. Speak with compassion. I am worthy. So throughout practice, we're going to work with that. And then we are going to finish today's practice, in this whole week, we're going to finish practice with loving kindness. Very powerful practice. So we are going to practice that, sending it into ourselves and then sending it out to the world. So starting to really repeat and see if you can start to feel the words, I am worthy. And every time the brain comes in and starts to distract you, the thoughts start to distract you, start to add on to the sentence or draw you off the mat into something else, just gently return to the mat. Notice where you're at in this moment in time. Feel your body on the mat. And maybe even bringing your hands to your torso as if you're bringing in a little comfort, a little hug to yourself. And still repeating, I am worthy. With kindness, with compassion. Maybe your breath is beginning to slow. And then we'll work with some intentional breath. So leaving your hands on the torso if they're comfortable there. We're going to bring our breath all the way in, filling up our lungs as full as we can without too much physical tension, so without lots of muscular force. Filling up our lungs, Exhale as slow as we can, gentle as we can. Slow, slow, slow. And then when we feel like we're empty, give a little pause. And then a squeeze, and see if you can squish out a little excess air. Fill up the lungs. Empty the lungs. Little pause. And then just see if there's anything left. Give a little push. Complete a couple of rounds. Inhale full, exhale full, little pause, and then a little push to see if there's anything left. Complete a couple of rounds. And then if you feel like you're not getting anything out of the little push, just start to find the breath pattern of inhaling fully, slowly, exhaling fully, slowly, and just a gentle pause. Repeating, inhale, exhale, gentle pause. And then we're going to connect a little bit of movement to that same breath pattern, trying not to become too alert yet. We're going to inhale as we lift our arms from our hips towards over our heads, nice and slow. Exhale as we push the air back out. Bring our arms back down towards our hips. Gentle pause. Really thinking about just moving with the breath. Inhale, lift. Exhale, push. Gentle pause. Eyes can be open or closed, whatever is more comfortable for you. And whatever helps you stay connected to moving with the breath and staying on your mat and not out in the outside world or away with the thoughts. Bring the arms down, and then if the feet are not already on the ground, bring the feet down about hip width, knees up, and we're going to move with the breath from the base. So we're going to lift our hips with the inhale, exhale as we lower, little gentle pause. So try not to make this movement too big. Inhale, lift the hips, engaging the front line and the glutes in the back line. Trying to find as many muscles as you can to engage. A little pause at the end of the exhale. And noticing if you can try and engage everything kind of evenly. We're not over engaging anything. Everything is just kind of starting to fire up and move together. Be mindful of any tension you're bringing into the neck. Try to keep your chin to the ceiling and your ribcage down on the ground. We're just lifting the hips. Moving with our breath. Little pauses at the end of the exhale. Lower the hips and take a soft side sway of the knees and hips, just letting go of any tension. Bring the knees and hips to a comfortable position, and then take the arms out about shoulder height with the palms up. Bring all of your focus to across the front of the shoulders and into the center of the chest. Notice what you feel here. Notice what you feel present here. Maybe you've been holding so much tension across the shoulders that this actually feels like a stretch. Opening up our shoulders, letting our shoulders drop into the ground, the support of the ground. Bring all of your focus onto your chest, the center of your chest. Start to imagine you're breathing in through the center of your chest, opening up your chest and shoulders. Breathing in fresh. Sweeping away tension with the exhale. And a little pause to soften into the ground. Dry and fresh across the chest and shoulders. Sweep away tension with the exhale. And a little pause to really soften all of the bones of the shoulders and arms into the ground. If you're a particularly visual person and it helps you to add some kind of imaginary visual experience, you can imagine green light, breathing in green light into the center of the chest and watching it spread across the shoulders. And then exhaling whatever you no longer need. Notice any sensations or thoughts or feelings that come up with your chest open. And then slowly bring your knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a little hug. Take your feet up towards the ceiling. Look at your feet and start to move through the feet, the toes, the ankles. Maybe even starting to pedal the legs. Just having an experience with your feet up above your heart, your shoulders melted into the ground. Starting to connect with the muscles of the legs and the feet. Notice what is present. Notice any tightness, any creaks or groans. Just starting to connect with your own physical body. What is going on? And then take the feet above the hips. Push the balls of the feet towards the ceiling. So start to activate the legs. If this pulls into your lower back, start to really press the hips down into the ground with the stomach muscles. So now you're actively pressing the stomach muscles down into the hips and then the rib cage down. So now you've got a nice stable core to keep your legs active. Legs are strong, core is strong. Shoulders are still mounted into the ground. We're going to bring we're pushing the balls of our feet towards the ceiling, starting to feel the muscles fire up in the leg. And then we're going to turn the legs in, like we're trying to turn pigeon-toed without changing the feet. So we're not going to pull the toes in. We're still pushing the balls of the feet to the ceiling. Notice what muscles fire up. Breathe and hold. And then a small twist of the feet. So you're really turning the bone in the hip socket. You're using the feet as a guide to turn the legs. Now we're turning the feet out. Still pressing the balls of the feet to the ceiling. So you're actively pressing the balls of the feet to the ceiling. Actively pressing the hips and the rib cage down into the ground. Your shoulders melted. Hold. Turn the feet back in. Nice and strong. Firing up the muscles, connecting with the muscles of the legs. And then turn the feet out. Take slow ankle circles, bringing the feet back in towards center. And then take a little hug. Bring the knees in. Take a little hug. Roll onto a side and come on up to a tabletop position. And we're going to move and breathe in tabletop. So connecting with being on your mat, being in your own physical body, and having your own meditative experience. We're going to inhale tabletop shape, exhale towards a child's pose. Adding your gentle pause. Inhale tabletop. Exhale towards a child's, and you can take whatever spinal movements, hip movements, play, have an experience in your own body, starting to land in your own body on your mat, feeling what is present and moving with the breath. And then we're going to work with I am worthy. So like a little prayer to ourselves, setting a little intention towards our heart. We're going to breathe in, I am, and like praying or giving a little prayer. We're going to bring our attention to our heart and say worthy with the exhale. I am is the inhale, worthy is the exhale. And as we're starting to breathe and move, I am worthy. Imagine as you're saying the word worthy, the exhale is expelling barriers, thoughts, anything in the way of us feeling this without cognitively understanding that. So without thinking about a memory that shatters your self-worth, we're just breathing in, using our imagination, using our breath, using this meditative experience to think about barriers, breathing in fresh, and releasing any barriers in our way with the exhale. Inhale, I am. Exhale, worthy. Land in a child's pose, a comfortable child's pose, whichever shape that is for you. If you can, bring your hands to prayer. Feel your hands in prayer. Try to take the tension out of your neck. You can even rest your head on your arm if your head doesn't reach the ground. Now bring your focus to the center of your chest, only on the back side. So imagine your heart center, the heart center we just focused on, but on the back of our spine. Imagine we're breathing in through this space, breathing in fresh, and releasing out what's no longer needed. Slowly make your way to tabletop. Set up in a tabletop. Lift up out of the ground with your chest and your stomach, and then take the right leg, even with the hip, active right leg. Bend the knee. Send the heel, slow pulses up to the ceiling, trying to move only the leg. So we're squeezing the core, moving just the leg. Push the heel to the ceiling, and then we're going to take a knee circle. So leg is active. Take a slow circle with the knee, trying to feel every point of the circle while the leg is active. We're pushing the leg, keeping it strong and active. And then lower the toes, press through the heel. You can pulse it or hold. Feeling the back of the leg. And then lower the right knee and take a little side sway. Notice left and right sides. And then left leg, even with the hip, nice and strong. Lift up out of the ground. Core is active, chest is active. We're pulling out of the wrists. Bend the knee. Little pulses of the heel to the ceiling, trying to move only the leg. So we're not moving the body around, trying to activate the leg, find the muscles of the leg. Push the heel to the ceiling, active strong leg, and then take a big knee circle. So circle, we're focusing on moving through all the directions your hip can move in. Nice and slow. And then bring the heel, even with the hip, lower the toes, and press through the heel. Little pulses or static. Finding your breath. Nice and slow. Lower the knees and come on up to a down dog. Tucking the toes, lifting the hips up out of the ground. Take any warm-up movements that feel right for you in your body, swaying the hips, bending the knees, whatever feels right. Experience your down dog, experience some movement. And then find the stillness of down dog. Connect with your head below your heart. Breathing in fresh and releasing what's no longer needed with your world upside down. Look towards the hands, bend the knees, and step or hop forward. Feet underneath hips. Come to a forward fold. You can use your block to bring your body up a little higher, forward fold with the torso long, or you can bend the knees and drop the torso onto the legs. Start to pedal out the feet wherever you're at. Maybe just swaying the weight side to side, just feeling your feet on the ground. Reminding yourself to have your own experience on your mat. You're on the mat. Your physical body is on the mat. Invite your mental and emotional and other layers to be present right here and right now. And then taking a big bend in the knees. Inhale as we rise up, arms overhead. Exhale, prayer to heart. We're going to connect to our breath and connect with inhaling, opening our heart, opening our arms, drawing in I am, and bringing that worthy right down to our heart center. Inhale, I am. Exhale, worthy. Gentle pause. Pause with your prayer at your heart. Maybe even close your eyes and bring all of your focus to your prayer at your heart. Begin to notice what it feels like to stand on your feet. Are you gripping your toes? Are you soft around the knees and ankles? Can you get a little taller in the spine, a little softer in the shoulders? And if your eyes are closed, float your eyes open. You're going to bring the weight onto the left leg and bring the right leg forward. Start to activate the right leg and then bring the knee bent, heel forward. Try not to sway the hips over to the side. So leg forward without swaying, and bringing all the strength into the outside of the hip. Get the strength in the center, the midline. Hold. And we're going to work with a little bit forceful, a little bit stronger breath. So hands can stay on the hips for balance, or you can work with pulling the hands. We're going to inhale as we draw in the hands and lift the leg. Exhale as we push. Inhale, up, exhale, push. So hands can stay out. You can just work on the leg. We want to fire up the leg so it's nice and strong. Inhale, exhale, forceful push. Maybe a gentle pause. Bring the knee in. Slowly send it past the left knee, through a warrior three, bend into the left leg, and come to a high lunge. Nice and slow with control. Bring your hands to prayer in your high lunge. Find your base. Lift up out of the ground with all of your muscles getting stronger, stronger, stronger. Center. And we're going to work with a little bit stronger breath again. So this time, we're going to bring the torso a little bit further forward over the front leg. We're going to lift the arms shoulder height as we inhale. Exhale as we sweep the torso down, arms back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sweep, push. Maybe a gentle pause. And then bring it back. High lunge, hands of prayer. Heart space. Bring the arms up overhead. Open the arms wide and draw the elbows down. Think about opening across the chest and shoulders. So we can pull the elbows back nice and strong. Pull, open. Watch for tension in the low back. Maybe bend that back leg a little and engage in the core a little. Watch for your tension. Watch for your compensation patterns. We're focusing on opening the chest. So inhale, draw. Inhale as we reach up. Exhale as we draw back and open. We're going to start to move with our breath. Inhale. Exhale, draw, open. Hold it open. And now focus on just breathing in strongly through an open chest. Watch for tension in the neck and the low back. Watch for gripping in the toes. Breathe. Inhale as we draw the elbows back a little further. Exhale as we squeeze the elbows slowly in. Make a little hollow out in our chest. Inhale as we open. Exhale as we squeeze in. Draw the arms open, and then bring our hands to our heart space. Regular high lunge. Bring the torso forward, slowly start to pop up the back toes. Activate the back leg, pop through warrior three. Bend the knee, come all the way back to where we began. And then place the foot down and tap out the feet. Slow, mindful, feeling your legs and your feet. Step back into mountain pose, back to connecting with our breath. Inhale, I am. Exhale, worthy, down to our heart, draw it in. Inhale, I am worthy. Draw it in, pause it, heart center. Notice how you are feeling. Notice what is present. Bring the weight onto the right leg. Left leg bends. Bring it forward. Start to hover the heel. Activate the leg. So again, watching for your balance techniques. Do throw out your hip to take all the balance into the hip. Draw the hip in, get tall. Bring your balance into midline. So we're pulling in towards midline and up through the spine to the crown of the head to keep our balance. Inhale, draw in. Exhale, push out. Leg active, nice and strong. We're not flopping it around. Fire breath. Inhale, push out. Bring it back, hold, Send the right knee past the left through warrior three. So find your warrior three. Nice and long, bend the right leg, lower the toes of the left. High lunge. Hands to prayer, heart center. Find your base. Check in on your base. Are you more comfortable with that leg bent and your stomach more engaged? Watch your low back because we're working through this pose with our breath. Bring the torso forward. Arms come to shoulder height with the inhale. Exhale, sweep down, push away. Maybe adding the gentle pause after your exhale. Come on back to high lunge, hands of prayer. Find your base, find your center. Arms are going to draw up, elbows down and back, open up the chest, watch for the low back. So squeeze the core a little more, maybe bend the leg a little deeper in the back. Inhale as we lift the elbows, exhale as we draw open. Hold open, breathe into an open chest. Draw the elbows, active arms and shoulders back behind you. Breathe. Take a deep inhale with the exhale. Squeeze the elbows towards you. Make it a little hollow out with the chest. Inhale, open. Exhale, squeeze. Arms are active. Arms are strong. Open, draw into an open chest. Bring your hands to prayer, heart space. Bring the weight onto the right leg. Slowly pop up the toes of the back through a warrior three. Nice and long. Bend the back leg and slowly come back to the way you came. Leg forward. Land your left foot and tap out. Nice and slow. Feel your feet. Feel your base. Land in your mountain pose. Connect with our breath. Inhale, I am. Exhale, worthy to our heart. Inhale, I am. Exhale, worthy. Hold your prayer at heart center. Land on your feet. Notice what is present. Thinking about cleaning our space, cleaning the space around us, the energy around us, whatever helps you connect. We're going to move and switch, letting our arms flop left and right. So sweeping, loosening, softening. And then we're going to do an exercise with our imagination. So as we're doing this exercise, letting your body sweep, soft, loosen, let go. I'm going to invite you to think of burdens and barriers, but I want you to think of them as images. So bring your hands back to prayer, heart center. So try to think of images. So images such as balls of energy, weights on your arms, something visual but not cognitive. So when I ask you to imagine the weights that you're carrying, we're not thinking of particular memories. We're not trying to draw ourselves down those familiar patterns in our brains that cause us stress. We're trying to imaginatively let go of some things. So, bringing our arms up, wherever they're somewhat comfortable but somewhat active. So get your base loose, Your whole legs, everything is just comfortable. You might want to be a little bit further out. Maybe this is a little more comfortable for you to hold for a longer period of time. We're going to be here for a little bit. So get comfortable in your base. So you're not locking around your knees. You're not locking in the hips or the low back. We're going to have our arms out, palms up. So imagine on your palms, you're going to start to carry all the burdens, all of the things and barriers that are in the way of that self-worth feeling. Not cognitively. Do not think of memories. Do not think of things that really are cognitively in your way. Think of holding weights, maybe even luggage. Maybe you've got a bunch of luggage that you're carrying around. Maybe they're little packages. But start to imagine they are there in your palms, heavy, 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 heavy burdens that you're holding. Close your eyes if it helps you to really connect with the idea of holding all of your troubles, all of your worries, all of your burdens right there in the palms of your hands. Really bring your focus to all this weight you're carrying in your hands. And then start to imagine slowly and softly they're falling off. Maybe it's like sand in your hands and it's slowly dripping through your fingers. Slowly, slowly, slowly. And as the weight seems to be dripping from your fingers, bring all of your focus into your heart center. Thinking about self-worth, self-love, self-compassion. Maybe just a green kindness, a green loving kindness energy for the center. Whatever helps you connect. And as your hands are getting lighter and lighter and you're ready to remove the obstacles to self-worth, your hands are beginning to draw like a little compassionate hug towards your heart center. I want you to really connect with this exercise, and it's possible that I am not going to give you enough time for your hands to naturally draw to your heart. So feel free to pause the video and take as much time as you need for your arms to come to your heart. Close your eyes, focus in your heart. Imagine that you're ready to drop all those burdens and barriers and allow your hands to move to your heart whenever they are ready to accept in self-worth. And there may be stutters. Your hands may move fast and then stop. Imagine if they stop, that you have another burden you're ready to drop visually. Another weight in your hand that's ready to be tossed to the ground. Let it go. And then maybe your hands draw naturally in towards your heart and soften. Feel your hands over your heart space like a warm hug. Trying not to awaken the body too much. Slowly bring yourself down to your knees and all the way down to your back, as slow as you can. So whichever way you can, trying to hold on to your heart. So trying to hold this little hug as you make your way down to your back. And when you land on your back, getting physically comfortable and resting in at your heart space as if it's being tucked in compassion and kindness, understanding, and believing in your own self-worth. Now, try saying, I am worthy. Let's see if it feels a little different, a little easier, a little harder. There are no right answers, just notice. Slowly allow your arms to come down to the ground, shoulders to melt into the earth. Imagine breathing in through the chest center. Notice what is present. So for today's practice, for the end of this practice, I am going to recommend you to try to keep the shoulders on the ground. We're going to practice a loving kindness. We're going to try and focus from the heart center. So trying to have the shoulders on the ground, knowing that our back is supported and the back of our heart space is supported on the ground might be helpful in assisting you in this practice. So gather any props or anything that you need for your resting pose to be comfortable in this position. Maybe something underneath the knees, legs on a chair. And just start to wind down, move through our base. Bring our knees in, give ourselves a little rock. Look at our feet. Take some circles with our feet. Letting go of any tension in the feet. Point the toes, pull the toes back, nice and slow. Not too much muscular action, not waking up too much. Right knee over left, bring the knees in towards the chest. We're looking to connect with glute piriformis space on the right side. Breathe into this space. Letting go. If you're holding your legs, let your legs go. Bring your knees over towards the hips. Allow the shoulders to really melt into the ground. And you're going to let the knees float over towards the left. Let the feet land wherever they land. So we're not looking to take this twist into the low back. We're looking to make space from the right hip to the right armpit. So get comfortable in a slight twisted shape, opening up right side body and breathing deeply into a little bit, tiny bit of compression through the torso. You can hold your legs to make sure that you're not bringing tension into the spine. Slowly bring the knees back through center. Unwind and bring left knee over right. Bring the knees in, feet towards opposite shoulders. And breathe into the glute piriformis space on the left side. Slowly bring the knees back to about the hips. Take the feet over towards the right, letting your shoulders stay melted onto the ground and just looking for that opening between left armpit, left hip, and a little squeeze of this torso. Slowly unwind. Bring the feet down to the ground, knees up, and take a little side sway of the hips side to side. Lengthen the body, so take the heels to the ground, take the arms up overhead, and lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Point the toes, reach from the tips of the fingers to the tips of the toes, opening up the front line of the body. Slowly slide the shoulders and the arms over towards the right, and then slide the feet a little bit over to the right, opening up left side of the body, making a giant banana on the ground. Breathe into the left side of the body. Mindful of any tension in the neck. Slowly bring the feet and arms back through center and over to the other side, opening up right side body. Breathe long, slow breath into the right side as if you're gently pushing your breath between each rib. Slowly bring the torso back to midline, back to center. Feet down, knees up, and take a little side sway with your hands on your torso, starting to land on the mat. And then take any position that you are most comfortable in. So feet down, knees up, maybe laying with something underneath your knees, but we want to have our shoulders down on the ground, chest open for this practice. Note for anyone who has really tight shoulders, there it is. If your shoulders do not easily melt down into the ground, you can place a little towel, cloth, something in underneath so that your shoulder knows where the ground is. So you're not pulling into the chest and your shoulder can melt into the ground. So it knows the ground is there. If you're unaware that your shoulders are particularly tight, try it. See how that feels. You may get an extraordinary release of having your shoulder supported as we lay in this position. So starting to breathe in through open chest and shoulders. If you're visual, maybe you're starting to bring yourself to that green ball of energy across the chest. Maybe you're just breathing in, I am worthy, right into this heart space. Start to imagine releasing the weight of the body, the control of the breath, just melting into the ground, surrendering into the ground. And then we're going to work with loving kindness. So, seeing yourself laying on the ground. Imagine you could look from above and see yourself laying on the ground. see yourself laying there, peaceful and at ease, wrapped in loving kindness. And maybe this is a green energy, maybe this is just warmth, maybe you just see a little bit of loving kindness and joy on your own face. Whatever helps you connect to this concept of loving kindness. And then we're going to repeat these words and say them the way that you would to someone you love dearly. Say these to yourself, laying here on the ground in this moment in time. May you be happy. May you be healthy and strong. May you be peaceful and at ease. Imagine absorbing these words, feeling the meaning of these words, absorbing loving kindness into your worthy heart space. And then we're going to bring someone to mind that is difficult in our lives. Not our worst enemy, not someone that we find extremely difficult, someone that we find challenging. See them ahead of us. Picture them clearly in your mind. Imagine wrapping them in loving kindness in whichever way helps you connect with this visual. Maybe just seeing them start to soften and smile. Maybe seeing their body language change, or maybe wrapping them in a green ball of loving kindness energy. Whatever helps you connect from your heart space, pouring out to someone else's heart space, loving kindness. And then imagine seeing them receive these words as you repeat them. May you be happy. May you be healthy and strong. May you be peaceful and at ease. See this person receiving loving kindness. See them soften. Now bring to mind somebody that you hold dear, that you find easy to wrap in loving kindness. Picture them receiving loving kindness, energy, warmth, and kindness. Picture them visually receiving these words as you repeat them. May you be happy. May you be healthy and strong. May you be peaceful and at ease. See the person receiving these words, wrapped in loving kindness. And then one more time, returning to your own heart center and repeating these words. May I be happy. May I be healthy and strong. May I be peaceful and at ease. Imagine absorbing these words into our heart center. And then as we move into our final resting, imagine our heart center open and connected. Now from this space is trickling in loving kindness slowly in through our heart and out to each and every cell in our body, filling us up to our fingertips, our toes, the crown of our head, softening our face, as if each and every cell of our body is slowly going to be touched by this loving kindness energy, filling us up so much that it gently begins to expand back out into our life, into the people that we know, out into our community. The more that we draw in towards ourselves, the more that we have to give out. Filling us up and expanding out. And as you lay here taking in a sense of drawing in loving kindness and allowing it to expand out, as the thoughts or mind or distractions begin to draw us away, just gently bring your focus back in towards the heart center. And begin again, starting from the heart. Excuse me. Starting from the heart and slowly expanding out through the entire body. Whatever helps you keep connection to this heart center and this loving kindness energy, you can give it a visual representation, a green energy expanding. Or maybe it's a warmth spreading throughout the body, slowly touching and releasing stress in every cell. If you are in a wonderful place and you have the time to take, please spend as much time as you can in your resting pose, drawing in, breathing in loving kindness, and allowing it to slowly expand. If you need to finish up at 60 minutes, we are coming up to that time. So begin to land back on the mat, bring your knees in, and curl up in a fetal position on whatever side is calling to you. Imagine being wrapped in loving kindness in a fetal position, connecting in to our bliss layer. That little spark of life that exists within us, unchanged by our experiences, unchanged by our worries or fears, unchanged by the harsh judgments we place on ourselves. Our spark of life, our bliss center. And try to imagine that some of these burdens, some of these weights, some of these barriers to feeling self-worth are here on our mat, and we're going to rise up to a seated position a little bit lighter. Bring your hands to heart space in a seated position. Connect with bringing our left and right sides to meet in front of our hearts. It's a gesture of accepting ourselves as whole and complete, precisely as we are. Reminding ourselves that drawing in love and kindness for ourselves is not to mean that we are beginning to imagine the world revolves around us, but we can only give out what we draw in for ourselves and understand for ourselves. So we draw in loving kindness towards ourselves so that we may expand it out into our world, into the lives of those that we share our lives with and those we've yet to meet. May we be happy. May we be healthy and strong. May we be peaceful and at ease. Thank you for joining me.